When he was growing up on a small farm in Kansas, Justin Nisly never saw a movie from Bollywood, the Indian film industry based in the massive city formerly known as Bombay. But even though Hollywood has bigger budgets, Bollywood sells a lot more tickets. Each year, 1 billion more people around the globe watch a Bollywood movie than watch a Hollywood movie. This is how a Kansas farm boy ended up acting in Bollywood movies and what he's learned about the place that produces more movies than anywhere else in the world.
Hollywood is the biggest movie industry in the world, right? Well, it depends what you mean by biggest. It's true that Hollywood spends more money to make films than anyone else in the world, but Hollywood doesn't actually make the most movies in a year. That honor belongs to a place almost halfway around the globe. Bollywood, the Indian film industry named after the city formerly known as Bombay, now Mumbai. India not only produces about 3 times more movies than Hollywood, but more than 2 billion people each year buy tickets to a Bollywood movie, easily the most in the world. Bollywood movies might not quite match the hyper-realistic special effects you see in the latest Hollywood superhero movie, but they're famous for their elaborate sets and costumes, and most of all for their beautiful music and spectacular dance sequences, like this one from Devdas. Over the last 2 years, I've been lucky enough to have a behind-the-scenes look at how that magic is made, because I've been cast in about 30 Indian movies, TV shows, and commercials. Now, Bollywood has been around since 1913, and there are many people far more qualified to discuss its 100-year history. So I'll just recommend 2 actors I particularly enjoy watching. First, Amir Khan is an actor who's beloved for movies like the Oscar-nominated Lagan, which portrays a starving village that bets its survival on a cricket match against their British oppressors. And the box office record-breaking film Dangal is based on the true story of a father who trains his daughters to fulfill his lifelong dream of winning India's first international medal in wrestling. Sridevi was a star in Indian film for more than 40 years, both an intuitive actor and a brilliant dancer. She dominated not just Hindi-speaking Bollywood, but also Telugu-language Tollywood and numerous others, one of the few actors in the world with hits in 5 languages. She proved that women, too, can carry films to box office success in India. But as a kid growing up on a small dairy farm in Pleasant View, I'm the blonde one, I didn't know any of that. In fact, because my family was Amish Mennonite, we weren't even allowed to set foot in a movie theater. So I didn't know about Hollywood movies either, and I didn't know enough to even dream about acting. But though we weren't allowed to have TV or musical instruments, my parents loved music and were excellent singers. When we were milking the cows every evening, my dad would teach me folk songs by loudly singing them over the sound of the milking barn, which he insisted encouraged the cows to give more milk. So when I graduated from my Mennonite high school, I studied music at Hutchinson Community College, and HCC's excellent performing arts program gave me my first opportunity to try my hand at acting, in plays like The Laramie Project and musicals like My Fair Lady. I fell in love with performing. So when I transferred to Cornell, I majored in music and theater. I started watching Bollywood films because no one does a musical number better than Bollywood. But I still never imagined I would ever set foot on a Bollywood movie set. I worked in theater for a bit after graduation, and then I took a detour. In 2008, I joined the Obama campaign, and after he won, I ended up working for his administration in D.C. for 8 years. I missed performing, but I did meet a woman named Namrata who loves theater and film as much as I do. Namrata's from Detroit, but her grandparents still live in India. So after we got married in 2016, we decided to move to Mumbai to be closer to family and get to know the country better, which is how I ended up in the heart of Bollywood, one of the most movie-obsessed places in the world. The chance to scratch my performing itch was too good to pass up, so I started auditioning. Now, obviously, I am not and will never be a star in Bollywood. But there are roles available for white foreigners, sometimes playing a rich American businessman or a foreign doctor, or a rude tourist like you see here. But the most common role I play is a British soldier. That's because for almost 200 years, Britain occupied India and ruled it with a brutal and bloody hand. After years of resistance, India won its independence from Britain in 1947. So historical movies usually have a British soldier as the villain. And that brings me to the biggest downside of my time in Hollywood, all the fake mustaches I've had to wear. They're itchy and hot, and they have a tendency to get fake whiskers in your mouth. But there's nothing quite like an evil mustache to get you in the right frame of mind to play a villainous British officer. One quirky fact I've noticed, while British or American foreigners like me often play the British officers who have lines, if you see white actors who don't speak in a Bollywood movie, they're almost certainly Russian immigrants. There's a lot of Russian expats living in the hippie beach towns south of Mumbai, and since accents don't matter for extras, they often make a little extra money playing, say, the hundreds of British soldiers in a battle scene. Days when you're shooting usually begin around 7 a.m., and you spend the first hour getting into costume. After that, it's off to set. Each day lasts for at least 12 hours, sometimes a lot more if the production is behind schedule. Sometimes you'll film on location, say in a restaurant like this one. Other shoots are in Film City, a sprawling outdoor complex inside a national park where you can find a desert, a jungle, a beach, even a man-made waterfall. Often, though, the production team will build the set on a huge indoor soundstage, like this maze of fake underground mining tunnels. The soundstage is air-conditioned, but every time you're ready for a take, you have to turn off the noisy air conditioning so the sound doesn't interfere. So with each take you shoot, more tropical air leaks in and the temperature rises, which is excellent incentive to nail scenes on the first try. I do remember one particular shoot where a superstar with a bit of a reputation for partying didn't want to get out of bed before noon, so for a week we had to shoot from 2 p.m. until 2 a.m., then find our way home in the wee hours of the morning. I guess the silver lining is you don't have to worry about heat when you're filming at midnight. Even though shoots can be grueling, it's always cool to see your face on the big screen, especially when it's next to one of your favorite actors. That's me very gingerly holding the right wrist of Amir Khan. If I look out of breath, it's because we just filmed a chase, and Indian regulations are a bit lax about requiring trained stunt people, so we've been jumping over couches and swinging from chandeliers ourselves. Ultimately, the thing that's impressed me the most is the amount of time, effort, and attention to detail that goes into filming a Bollywood dance. For instance, for this same movie, which also starred Katrina Kaif, we spent almost 2 weeks filming for just a 3-minute song. Hundreds of people spent several hours filming each 15-second segment of the song from every possible angle. And other songs are even more elaborate. One of my favorites is the classic Chaya Chaya, which was famously filmed on top of a moving train. Despite featuring the legendary composer A.R. Rahman and the megastar Shah Rukh Khan, the song faced a lot of obstacles. Khan's dance partner, Malaika Arora, wasn't cast until 3 days before the shoot, and the team decided to film on the train when they were denied permission to film in the station. When Farah Khan, the song's Tony Award-nominated choreographer, was asked about her safety plan, she joked that she brought extra dancers to replace anyone who fell off. But despite those challenges, the team produced something joyous and audacious. The movie itself flopped, but the song was a smash hit, and 20 years later, it's still instantly recognizable to millions across the globe. To me, that train represents a lot of what I love about Bollywood, and I'm just happy to be along for the ride.